Okay, guys, so in the previous question, we looked at question 7 of IMAT 2019, the conclusion question. And this really showed us the other type of conclusion question you can get, where it's really obvious which is the most opinionated sentence, but then the answers are quite similar and it's really hard to suss out which is the correct one. But hopefully, guys, with my explanation, you have added another tool to your toolbox of things of how you can approach these type of questions. So we move on to the next question, guys. And I think now you might be in a bit more confident trying to approach some of these questions. So let's give that a shot. So next, guys, we're going to look at the IMAT 2018 bunch of conclusion questions. And yeah, let's give this one a shot. So let's do this, guys. So let's read this together, right? And then give it a shot there. So normally when you're reading it, what it'll take you around, let's just say a minute. So once you read it together, guys, you give yourself around a minute and then come up with an answer. Because remember, guys, these questions you're allowed. Let me just write it here. You're allowed 1 minute and 50 seconds. Right, so that's the time you'd be aiming for. So generally, I'd say you spend like 1 minute reading the passage, coming up with the most opinionated sentence, and then like a 50 second or so trying to work out which is the correct answer. And or even better, guys, if you some of the ones are some as you really get better at these, you probably can do it a lot faster than those, and that would save you time on other more difficult questions. So let's read this, guys. So it says competition between restaurants is fierce, and restaurants are trying to gain recognition for the quality of their food. Research from Oxford University might just give them the edge over their competitors. More than 100 people participated in a series of experiments to see if the taste of food was affected by the color used to eat it. The study found that desserts tasted better when eaten using small spoons. Similarly, yogurt tasted creamier when eaten with a black spoon. Cheese cut with a heavy knife tasted more expensive than cheese cut with a lighter knife. And it says, which of the following is a conclusion that can be drawn from the above passage? So, guys, give yourself a minute, minute and a half. Where it's fine, guys, if you're a bit off the time to start off with, but try to stick with the time as close as possible, and then we'll come back and do this question together. Okay, guys, welcome back. So let's go through this. So remember, first thing we're going to do is just read the question. Which of the following is a conclusion that can be drawn from the above passage? So conclusion, put our conclusion hat on, and therefore we're looking for the most opinionated sentence. It says competition between restaurants is fierce, and restaurants are trying to gain recognition for the quality of their food, right? So yeah, this one's it's not like 100% a fact. It might be his opinion that the competition is fierce, but I'll just bracket that just to say that we're considering it. But it's not really a strong. I hope you guys can see it's not really a strong opinion, right? It says research from Oxford University. So also, guys, just from the starting of the sentence, you can tell if it's a fact. So research, you're not going to tell a lie about a research. A research is black and white. It's there or it's not. The research from Oxford might just give them that edge over their competitors. So this is more of a factual thing, isn't it? All right, so this can be fact. So it says more than 100 people participated in a series of experiments to see if the taste of food was affected by the color we used to eat it. Right, so this is all fact, guys. This is all from the experiment. You can't, I mean, you can make up experiments, but it's going to be really bad on you if someone finds out that you've been doing that. So we can assume this is all fact. Because the study found that, again, you won't lie about a study. This is all going to be factual. So the study found that desserts tasted better when eaten using small spoon. Similarly, yogurt tasted creamier when with a black spoon. Cheese cut with heavy knife is more expensive than cheese cut with a lighter knife. Okay, so from that, guys, we can see really there's not really a strong, dominant, at your face sort of opinionated sentence, right? So this is sort of the remember the first question we saw. So this is more of the type that you just so basically you just say to yourself, what's the general thing that this thing's trying to say? Is basically trying to say that the cutlery you eat with your food is going to determine how good your food tastes, essentially, isn't it? That's basically the gist I'm getting from it. And therefore, we're going to pick the one that's most closely resembles that. Remember, these kind of questions, guys, it should be quite obvious which is the correct answer because it's of the first type where it's a bit more difficult to find the opinion and you have to kind of formulate it in your head yourself. Well, let's go through this anyway. It says people choose restaurant only because of the quality of their food. Also, guys, this first one, I know it's wrong because it's really a bold statement. People choose restaurants only because of, right? It's not that one of the factors is because of the quality of food, right? Say the only reason is because of that, and that can't be unless the person evidently said that, which in this case wasn't. This is definitely going to be incorrect. It says restaurants should think carefully about what cutlery they use. Yes, this could be it, yeah, because it's saying that the the cutlery you use is going to determine the, how good the food is, right? So this could, yeah, could be. I'm gonna circle this one. So this could be one of them. Restaurants should pay less attention to food presentation. Nowhere in this paragraph, guys, did it talk about food presentation. So this one has to be wrong. Remember, only you can't extract stuff that's outside of this. Only what's inside this paragraph, you can only use that, guys. Yeah. So it says customers pay attention to the cutlery they are using. Not, yeah, it didn't talk anything about that, isn't it? It's just talking about the taste. It's linking the taste to the cutlery. It didn't talk about what customers think about the cutlery, right? So this can't be the case. And variety of cutlery is more important than the quality of food. Yeah, again, nothing. It didn't really talk about. It didn't really say that, having different cutlery is better than having good food. Is really making the link, saying if you have specific cutlery for specific foods, the taste would be better. So it can't be that. So I'm going to stick with my guns, guys, and go with and go with and go with B, basically, based on that. Because if you look at the paragraph, guys, so if you look at the paragraph, it's really just talking about, there's a study, right, which is showing that if you use specific cutlery for specific dishes, they're going to taste better, right? And that's basically the purpose of a restaurant, right? They want to give good food to their customers. And therefore, we can extract essentially that restaurants, the guy's trying to say is that based on this study, right, if restaurants want to do better because the competition is fierce, they should think about what cutlery they use for specific dishes. So hopefully, guys, that made sense. And hopefully, guys, you can see a lot of these questions, guys, it's really just, using your sense of elimination. Hopefully, guys, also you can see why the other ones are incorrect and why that one, even though it doesn't sound exactly it, right? It's the most suitable one from the list you're given. And hopefully, guys, in the next, as we go along, trust me, guys, as you do more and more, you'll get better and better and better, and you'll be really good to. It will be really good to see your progress. So, hope to see you in the next question, guys. Okay, guys, so the last question we looked at was this question to do with this research study and cutlery and linking that to the quality of food. I think it was an okay question. It could be quite difficult at the start, but remember, guys, this whole process is about learning together, working together, and eventually you would master these skills. Trust me, don't be disheartened at this early stage, guys. So let's move on to the next question, guys. Question 4. So let's read this together. As before, guys, you read it together, then you give yourself around a minute to come up with the answer, and then we will go through this work solution. So it says, it's better for your children's health to give them a video game to play than to let them watch television. Researchers at Queensland University examined the effects of video gaming and watching television on children between the ages of 2 and 5. They found that children burned more calories when they were gaming than when they were watching television. Higher blood pressure was associated with watching television, but not with video gaming. The scientists believe that the difference comes from two distinct kinds of screen time: passive screen time, where you are simply viewing programs or films, and active screen time, where you are engaging both your mind and your body. It says, which of the following is the main conclusion of the above argument? So, guys, give yourself a minute, come back together, and we should go through the solution. Okay, guys, let's go through this. So let's start with the first one. It's better for your children's health to give them a video game to play than to let them watch television. That's clearly, guys, that's clearly an opinion, isn't it? So far, there's not really any evidence to back that. He's literally saying it's better for you to do that. It's really demanding. It's better for you to do that. You shouldn't do that, right? So I think this is a really good opinion so far anyway. Right, and this really just shows, guys, the different types of structure. This is the point of doing the past papers, guys, so you can see the different structures of passages and how to approach them. So this is the type of passage where they give you the opinion at the start and then they bulk out evidence afterwards to support that opinion. Other types are where they give a bunch of evidence at the start and then at the end say, therefore you should do this. Right, it's like saying we should go France. That's your opinion. Where's the evidence? Okay, they have good buildings, they have good hotels, they have good food, etc., etc. So let's carry on anyway, guys. It says research at Queensland University. Again, you're not going to lie about research. As soon as you see that word research, you know it's legit. You know it's going to be a fact. So research at Queensland examined the effects of video gaming and watching television on children between the age of 2 and 5. So yep, all of this, guys, all of this is going to be fact, 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 fact. Good. They found that the children burned more calories when they were gaming than they were watching television. High blood pressure is associated with watching television, but not with video gaming. Again, that's all fact, isn't it, guys? This is like research. You can't lie about that, right? So we're gonna we're going to X all of that. We're not interested. So X all of that. And then it says the scientists believe that the difference comes from two distinct kinds of screen time. Passive screen time are where you are simply viewing the program of films, and active screen time where you are engaging both your mind and your body. Yes, that is someone else's opinion. Remember, when I say opinion, guys, I mean the opinion of the guy that's writing it, right? He's just stating someone else's opinion. So in a way, you can view that as a fact. He's not fabricating what they're saying. He's just literally repeating what they're saying, right? So someone else's opinion, not the person's opinion. So you treat that as a fact. So this, you can X this all out, guys, basically. So X, 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 right? So this one's, so basically, guys, without even looking at the answer, we know it's basically going to be something with, it's better for children to play video games rather than watch TV. So it says, playing video games helps to reduce a child's blood pressure. So again, guys, this is talking about a really specific part where it's, yeah, over here, where it was talking about blood pressure, right? Here it's saying what's the main conclusion of the whole argument. He didn't write his argument to talk about blood pressure. That's just one of the aspects of that argument. So it can't be that. Watching television does not stimulate children's mind. Um, again, he might watching television. He might be implying that, but remember, you guys, you can't sort of think outside the box. You have to just think of what's in front of you in that argument, right? You can't be extracting things outside the box. So this one is on that term, then that one can't be the one. Video games engages both the mind and body. Yeah, that one sounds legit. Yeah, I'm gonna consider that one. So far, I think that's the best one. Video gaming is better for your child's health than watching television, right? Clearly, that's much better, isn't it? Because that clearly, literally regurgitates that first paragraph, which is basically the opinion, isn't it, guys? So far, this one's definitely winning. So this one has to be crossed now. And this one's basically winning so far. And lastly, children burn more calories when they play video games than when they watch television. I think it did talk about calories somewhere. But again, guys, remember that's talking about a very, very particular part. Yeah, I think it's here. They burn more calories. That's talking about a really, really particular part of that paragraph. We're looking for the main conclusion of the above, not specific bits. So this one has to be incorrect. So therefore, guys, the answer is D. So hopefully, guys, that one was a bit more straightforward, and hopefully you can see just by literally, guys, doing 3 questions or so. Hopefully, guys, you can see progress already building. So that's good, guys, and hope to see you in the next question. Okay, guys, so in the previous question, which was question 4, we looked at a more doable question in my eyes. And hopefully, guys, you managed to solve it yourself, or if you didn't manage to solve it, that's perfectly fine, guys. It's still early stages. I hope, though, you've managed to understand why D is the correct answer through my explanation. Anyways, guys, let's move on to the next question, which was question 6. So read it together, guys, and the usual, we give you a minute or so. Remember, 1 minute 50 is the total time you're allowed in section 1 per question. So just bear that in mind. So question 6, sperm whales have the largest brain on the planet, although both humans and dolphins have larger brains relative to their body size. But why should relative brain size be so important? If one thinks of a brain as a computer, there is no obvious reasons why it must be sized in proportion to the body it lives in. Why, for example, should a whale need a especially large brain when a hummingbird, which has complex tasks to perform, manages with a tiny one? Which of the following is a conclusion that is supported by the above passage? So guys, give yourself a minute or so, come back, and we will be going through the word solution. Okay, guys, so let's go through it. It says sperm whales have the largest brains on the planet, although both humans and dolphins have larger brains relative to their body size. That's fact, isn't it, guys? It's just literally stating different brains. You can't really tell a lie about that, right? So this is all facts. I'm gonna cancel all this out. Yeah. It says, but why should relative brain size be important? Right? What do you think about that, guys? That's more of an opinion, isn't it? Saying it's literally saying to the reader, like, why should you think this way? Or why should relative brain size be such an important factor, right? So far, guys, I'm saying this is the most opinionated sentence. So far, that is, right? So if one thinks of a brain as a computer, there is no obvious reason why it must be sized in proportion to the body it lives in. That's again more of an opinion, isn't it, guys? There's no reason why a brain must be sized relative to the body it lives in, right? So far, those two together are really strong opinions, I would say. It says, why, for example, should a whale need an especially large brain when a hummingbird, which has complex tasks to perform, manages with a tiny one? So that is basically still an opinion, but that's sort of like he's trying to give an example to back up his opinion, right? So I wouldn't say that's much of a strong opinion compared to the other two, and therefore I would basically combine the other two to really give the strongest opinion. So basically, the what he's trying to say is that relative brain size shouldn't be such an important principle, essentially, to work out how large an animal's brain is, essentially. Right, so it says, which of the following is a conclusion? Right, also, I forgot to start by saying just look at the question. Obviously, all the questions we're doing now, guys, are conclusion, but obviously in the exam, there'll be a mix of different type of questions. So it's really important that you just read the question, see that as a conclusion question, and put your conclusion hat on and really know what you're doing before you even read the passage and waste time. Right? You don't want to be wasting time just reading the passage with no purpose, guys. So it says brain size and the ability to form complex tasks are not necessarily related. It's not really, so it's more talking about is with the first one, it's more talking about brain size and more body size. The complex task stuff is really talking about this specific part, isn't it? The hummingbird, right? So I'm not really too happy with that one. So I'm just going to put a question mark there, actually. And then it says hummingbirds and whales have equally complex tasks to perform despite huge differences in brain size. Again, the reason I don't like this one, guys, is he didn't write this whole paragraph just to talk about hummingbirds and whales, right? That's not his whole thing. That's just examples he was giving. So here's where he's talking about the hummingbird and well, that's just examples he's giving. That's not the whole conclusion of the thing. So this can't be right. Dolphins are more intelligent than whales. Does it say anything about that? Sperm had the largest brain, although both humans have larger brains. It's not saying they're more intelligent. It's just stating that they have larger brains. So to make that conclusion, you're kind of doing something in your head. So you're saying, okay, larger brain means you're more smart, but that's not necessarily the case, and that's not what the author is also saying. So this one can't be correct. There's no important difference between a brain and a computer. Okay, so again, that's just really referring to a really specific part of the paragraph, isn't it? Over here, right? And on top of that, he's not saying there's no important difference between a brain and a computer. He's just saying that if you think of the brain as a computer, he's not really you're kind of assuming he's saying that if you're thinking it's that one. Um, but yeah, remember, guys, only what's on the paper is what you can suggest as an answer. That one has to be wrong. Whales need larger brains than either dolphins or humans because of their enormous size. Again, referring to really particular part, and also on top of that, um, is not saying they need a is what's it saying? Yeah, it's not really saying anything about why they need large brains. It's literally saying sperm whales have larger brains. So this one also can't be right. Therefore, guys, hopefully you understand then through a process of elimination. So you see the first one I was like, meh, it could be it. But in retrospect, looking through all the answers, B to E definitely do not sound correct. So I would say A is the most suitable answer. So a lot of the things, guys, in section A, a lot of the things in section A, you probably sometimes won't end up with definitive thinking, okay, I definitely think it's that answer. But it's more of a fact that you kind of eliminate and select the most suitable one. That's really an important skill that I'm sure you develop as we go through these questions. But hopefully, guys, that has helped and hopefully that has made a little bit of sense. But hope to see you in the next question.